All right, so welcome everyone. Good to see you. Now, today we have a question from Thomas. Thomas asks, Tobi, when you have a moment, I really would like to know more about the practice of cultivating a positive mindset. Say, I always have a tendency to lose my temper to people or reactive to things. How do I go about by jumping to the mindset that I'm actually already a cool, calmed, and collective individual? By doing so, wouldn't that involve more thoughts creating in my head? This concept is new to me for mindfulness practice, as I thought mindfulness is about not hanging on to a fixed mind about myself and allowing all emotions in our head to exist. But this kind of willful positive thinking method almost sounds like I should deny my negative tendency and the emotions that come with it. I'm still not quite clear I fully understand how this would help my mindfulness practice, if I'm being honest here. Okay, well, that's a relatively common question that people have when it comes to negative or positive thinking and the practice of being aware of whatever comes and goes. And then people, they see them as, first of all, different, and second, they see them as completely unrelated very often, so that one has nothing to do with the other. Like cultivating a positive mindset has absolutely nothing to do with being open, spacious, and aware of whatever arises and passes within the present moment. In terms of the three characteristics of impermanence, suffering, and stressfulness, and not self. So when we see everything in these terms, then it seems more to be like a practice of just leaving everything alone and just seeing it for what it is, which is true. You see things for what they really are. You're seeing truth clearly. While the other method is something that helps this ability to grow. Positive thinking. So the Buddha has taught his teachings in terms of the three so-called trainings. You have sila, which is training of restraint. You have a training of samadhi, which is the training of single-pointedness of the mind. And then you have the training of panya, which is the training of wisdom, wisdom methods, the training for release. So you can see all three actually in terms of release, for example. You can see that the training of sila or restraint is releasing negative emotions, releasing negative mental habits and tendencies, releasing negative character traits, and cultivating positive ones, cultivating those character traits, those mindsets, those habits which actually serve you within your lifetime here. While you are embodied in this body, there are certain things that you can do that are skillful to do. So we can't get around doing. You cannot just say, all right, I will stop doing altogether because I'm super spiritual and from now on I will never do anything anymore again. There is no doing. Well, there is. And if you make sure that your doing is skillful, it is a wise kind of doing, then you are having the ability to cultivate happiness, both for yourself and other people. And this is a highly desired good, happiness. Everybody in this world wants to be happy. You can also see it in terms of different kind of levels of cultivating happiness. There is not just one level of cultivating happiness. There's different skill sets. So according to the level of the students, for example, a teacher should determine now what would be appropriate for that student to cultivate at this current stage. So, for example, it might be appropriate to cultivate at the lowest level of skill to cultivate at least a positive speech, let's say, and positive actions, if everything else fails, that is something that we can do. Cultivating a more positive voice, talking well. So many people are engaging continuously in complaining, for example, complaining about this, about that. That would be unskillful. Complaining about other people, how they practice, other people and their religion, other people and their habits and customs, or complaining about yourself continuously, about what you did wrong in the past and what might go wrong in the future and so forth. That is unskillful speech. So we might at least recognize that this doesn't lead anywhere and then cultivate more skillful speech. For example, I'm grateful for having a roof over my head and enough to eat. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my neighbor being quiet today, or I'm grateful for having good friends, whatever it is that you're grateful for. So you're shifting the way you talk and thereby slowly having an impact on your mindset. Shifting the way you talk within your head when you're just sitting around there alone by yourself. How do you talk to yourself? How do you talk in your head about other people? Is it positive? In other words, does it benefit you? Does it lead to more happiness and fulfillment? And so, as soon as there is some mindfulness, some recognition of the way you are right now in this moment, you are behaving right now in this moment, both internally and externally, then you have a choice. You can ask yourself, well, what do I really want? Why am I doing this right now? What do I really want out of this? And then you could make a decision. And that requires thinking. And for many people, this is where we start. With empowered thought, making the right type of decisions. Training yourself to make decisions. It's a very good practice. You could train yourself day by day, make it your goal to make decisions. It might be difficult. For many people, this is difficult, making decisions. Most people feel kind of like adrift on life, on the ocean of life. It's like kind of the currents just seem to carry them around. Life just happens to me. Oh my God, life has happened again. But does that actually correspond with truth, with reality? Yes and no. As so often, well, it corresponds to the truth of those who have no mindfulness. Life just happens. It's just a series of events and reactions. But for those who do have mindfulness, then the element of choice comes in. And with the element of choice, the element of the possibility to make clear decisions. Making clear decisions is highly liberating. When you remember the last time you made a very clear decision, I want to do this. That is my goal. It's very liberating, because what you do when you're making a decision is you're cutting out everything that has nothing to do with the decision. In my life, I have made a few powerful decisions, and I do regularly train the ability to make decisions. It's not natural to me to make decisions, or wise decisions, or conscious decisions. That is something we can train. And it's a useful thing to train. All that falls into the realm of the first training of the Buddha. The sila, restraint. Restraining from harmfulness, cultivating harmlessness. Restraining yourself from making decisions that will harm you on the long run or on the short run, and train yourself to make decisions that are beneficial for you and others, both on the short and long run. That is a training. That's why they are called the three trainings. They're not three states that you already have perfected within you. They are something to be cultivated day and night. I just read just now that some guy said that excellence is a result of repeating something many, many times. Therefore, we could say that excellence is not a state of being, but a habit. It's a habit that you cultivate. If you do something over and over and over and over and over again because you decided that's the path I want to go, then you are getting better at that each time you're doing it, each time you're thinking it, each time you're feeling it. It will uplift your life. And if your life is uplifted, then you have more happiness. If you are empowering yourself through your decisions, for example, to change your mindset or to change the way you feel, to change what you do, you're empowering yourself in that very moment. And of course, it requires your wisdom to foresee, well, if I do this, where will it lead me? Is this what I want? This is what all successful people on this world are doing. They have that in common. They have very strong decision-making skills. And they don't give up once they're on that path. That is because their decision is absolutely clear. They know why they do what they do. They have purpose, a sense of purpose. And for many people, they're so lost in their mindsets, in their negative mindsets. They feel so much out of control when it comes to their own mind that it's almost like they feel like a victim. Like life is after me. Life is trying to get me. You know, things happen in my life and I hope, very often they say, I hope that this and that will not happen to me. How can I avoid this and that? There's a sense of, life is attacking you. It's after you. It's there to get you. And hopefully you will make it. Hope. Well, here is no clarity of decision, for example, right? You can decide to make it. With each turn that your life takes, you have a choice there. You can react to it in a certain way. The only question is, do you react to it in a way that is first of all pleasing to the wise ones, and second of all beneficial both to yourself and others? Is it truly beneficial? Does it lead to ultimate happiness? So it's a good skill to be able to stop in the heat of the moment and ask yourself, what am I doing right now? Why am I doing this? What do I really want? 3 questions to ask yourself. And if you do this genuinely, and if you train this ability to stop and ask yourself these 3 questions, your life will change. Now that is true on the most basic level of just leading a successful life. Having a good job, a good family, and etc., etc. But here we are using that for the practice, for the spiritual path. You can use these same principles. What am I doing right now? Why am I doing this? Where does it lead? And what do I really want? Now, being on the spiritual path, the goal is rather clear. We want happiness, and we don't want to suffer, letting go of suffering. So does my current action support that? Does it help? Does it at least lead to lower levels of happiness, which then empower the higher levels? And that's what this is for. So that willful positive thinking supports higher levels of happiness. It's almost like a foundation. Because most people start off with having a lot of thoughts. Well, before you're deciding to completely let go of thoughts, at first, bring some order into them. Make your mind work for you, not against you. So in other words, cultivate something that is worthwhile letting go of. Tanisaru Bhikkhu, he says, the nice phrase, he says, let go like a millionaire. Don't let go like a poor person. Here, millionaire doesn't refer to having a full bank account, but it refers to your mental state. What are you actually letting go of? It's almost like unleashing a dog. What kind of dog do you unleash? Is it a drunken, raging pit bull that you unleash onto the people? Well, that's the wrong kind of letting go. You don't want to let go of such an unrefined character. But first of all, you want to refine your character, turn it into a diamond, if you will, a beautiful thing. Then release it, and wherever it goes, it will just do good. Right? But we are not at the third training just yet, releasing everything. Before we can do that, we need to still build our happiness further. The lowest level of happiness is just worldly happiness, being able to handle your mindset in such a way that it benefits both you and others, short-term and long-term, that you are leading a happy life here and now in the present moment. Not too much trouble, you don't lie, so you don't have to justify yourself. That stress falls away. You don't kill, so you don't have to run away from the police. That stress falls away. You're not acting in any way that makes you feel regretful about yourself, so that stress falls away. You're feeling shameful and regretful about yourself and so forth. So you're letting go of all that negativity and you cultivate positivity. First level. Second level then, the training of samadhi, single-pointedness. Here we are cultivating a level of happiness that goes by far beyond the happiness that most people know. Now, if you're looking at your life right now, then you could really live it up. You could experience beautiful things. You go travel, you go to beautiful places, walking through the forest, swimming in the lake, meeting nice people, eating great food, having the best cups of coffee and whatnot. All these kind of things. You can really live it up. You can enjoy yourself on that level, and it gives us joy. There's no doubt about this. The senses can give us a certain level of joy. Listening to good music, being praised, receiving kind words, that feels good. And that's about sound, and smelling good things, having positive smells. That's nice. On the other hand, if there's negative things happening, the negative smells and negative, if people criticize you and so forth, that's different. It doesn't feel nice. So it's a certain limited joy that we experience right now, undeniably. When was the last time today that you felt really good? You all remember an event. And if you're looking through your life, day after day, then you will notice that this feeling really good is actually quite rare for most of us. These are kind of like highlights during the day or during the week. It's like, wow, I felt really good there. And it's always very short moments. Observe it. I don't want to be negative at all, but just observe yourself. Have a look at this. See that just how short-lived the pleasures that you currently experience are. Very short-lived. Nothing very substantial, actually. And on top of that, each one of those pleasures comes with a host of downsides. It comes along with a whole lot of problems. future problems that are still resting as a potential right now. The problems that you had in the past, maybe to afford the holiday, you have to work many, many months. And we don't see this. The stress that we need to go through so that we can have that short moment of, one of the students who came here to the class, he said very fittingly, he said, our pleasures, they're almost like wearing shoes that are too small for the reason that it's so comfortable taking them off. So you walk around in your small shoes, it hurts like hell. And why do you do this? Well, because it's nice taking them off. Many people are spending time in jobs that they absolutely hate. Why would they do this? Because it's nice to take a holiday from those jobs. They can finance a holiday. And because they believe that they have no choice. So they don't even see that they could make a choice, that it would be up to them to choose. They believe a choice is something that is kind of pushed upon to them. It's not something that they make. So in other words, the first kind of training should lead to a point where you have enough happiness and leisure that you have time for some serious happiness. Something that goes much deeper than just the ordinary fleeting sense pleasures that we experience every now and then. I'm all for happiness. I'm sitting here for the sake of happiness. And you are sitting here for the sake of happiness. So I say, why just be satisfied with a 1-star meal? Why not go for the 5-star meal? Why not go for the best possible option, that the potential, you have it inside of you? Why not go for it? Why not go for the best possible happiness that you could possibly get? Why be contented there? Say, okay, I'm contented with sense pleasures every now and then. Contentment is good, but there is points where contentment is inappropriate. The Buddha himself said that he wasn't contented with his skills. He was never content with his skills. Until he reached enlightenment, of course. Then there is nothing else to reach. That's pure contentment then. What kind of skills? Well, skills of creating happiness, skills of letting go of stress. Don't be contented with those. Cultivate. Seek out better and better states of being right now, right here. What feels best? What even goes beyond feeling? What goes beyond thinking? Beyond constructing a nice self-image, a helpful, beneficial self-image. What is it that goes beyond that? That's the second training. That already goes beyond thinking. It creates the emptiness of absorption, the emptiness of a well-relaxed mind. A mind that is not fidgety, a healthy mind. A mind that is not buzzing around, is not latching on to this and that experience. The mind which is completely still, resting on one point. The more still the mind becomes, the greater your happiness, the greater your experience of bliss. Bliss flooding your entire being, your whole body, your whole mind. Lasting for longer times and longer times, carrying you through life. Making you feel really, really good. That requires a certain skill set. The one, it means you need to first of all be able to accept that as a possibility, right? If that is not a possibility even for you, then you wouldn't make the decision to get this. Does that make sense? If you don't even imagine that such a thing is possible, that such an intense happiness is actually possible, you wouldn't make the necessary decision for you to create the causes for this. Right? So it's a very dynamic process. It involves a lot of thinking, it involves a lot of skillful planning, a lot of skillful looking forward, looking backward, comparing, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, discarding what doesn't work, cultivating what works, exploring it further, diving deeper, testing yourself out day after day. It's a very dynamic process. Many people oversee that. They hear me talk one time about, hey, just totally let go, relax, be at ease, don't do nothing. Like I just said in this meditation, they think, well, that's meditation. But by far not. That was just a nice little play. But that play has a potential to take you very deep. And that is, of course, dependent on the way you lead your mind. You tame your mind. Very often the example is given like a gardener that tames the mind. You're taking out all the weeds and you're planting healing plants, good herbs, nice beautiful flowers. Create a nice little corner with an umbrella where people can sit and relax under an apple tree or whatever, Just create a nice little garden, design it really well so people can relax in that garden and find some peace. That involves thinking. And finally, going beyond even the bliss of concentration, of a well-concentrated mind, the pinnacles of happiness that are possible. We're going even beyond that, into the happiness of release. And the happiness of release is brought about by using your well-empowered mind, your knowing ability, to see whatever arises and passes within consciousness in terms of three characteristics. Seeing that no matter what it is that arises, it passes. It is very short-lived. Experiences are very short-lived. Feelings are very short-lived. Have you noticed? If you really look at the pain that seems unbearable, if you really look at it, you see it's flickering in and out. It's buzzing. It's not really having any solidity. It's just energy. Can you see into the impermanence of pain? Can you release pain? One way is to escape it, right? It's one way to create some short pleasure. But one way is to transcend pain. So you want to practice accordingly. Put yourself to the test. Are you able to see pain as just energy? Just something happening? Or are you attacked by it? Do you still feel like the pain is attacking me? If that's still the case, then you might need to work more with the first training and the second training. But if you have some skill in the third training, you can, without any problem, allow the pain to be there and remain completely unaffected, equanimous, peaceful. There's great happiness in it. That's a happiness that is independent of conditions, such as pain and so forth. That is an unshakable state. Concentration is dependent on conditions. Samadhi. Concentration is a bit of a mistranslation or very often misleading. Samadhi, let's just use the original word. Samadhi is a conditioned state. You need to condition it into existence. That requires right circumstances, quietude, a very disciplined day and night schedule, a very rigid lifestyle, no entertainment, and you can go up to very high levels of bliss, very high levels of happiness. But the third one is unconditioned. The third training of cultivating panya, cultivating wisdom, we're touching upon something that is not dependent on conditions, that doesn't arise and fall. However, in the beginning it does arise and fall. We are only shortly aware of it. Oop. There is it. No need to do, no need to try, no need to get anywhere, and then you get caught up again with something. There's a short moment of maybe not getting caught up. Understanding like, wow, that feeling is neither me nor mine. So why would I hold on to it? Holding on to anything is suffering. It is stressful. It is unbearable. That's what the word means. Dukkha. Unbearable. Hard to bear. Hard to carry around. As soon as we're carrying around emotions, thoughts, feelings, sounds, the body, the mind, it's a heavy bunch. As soon as you release one after the other, more and more, you're letting go, letting go, letting go, realizing that neither of them is worthy of being held, is worthy of being clung to. You realize nothing in this entire universe is either me or mine. Some people say, we are all one. No. That is inaccurate. That is not a correct statement. We can say that we all share certain characteristics, but in the unconditioned state, there is no all, there is no one. Because all implies not one. It implies many. One implies one. Many implies many. So if you say all these many people are one, that doesn't make any sense in itself. We're not all one. Otherwise, let's say if I achieve enlightenment, you all should achieve enlightenment. But no. If I'm feeling great and happy, you all should. No. You might still be really grumpy. If I'm beyond thought, you should go beyond thought too. But we all experience entirely different universes. But we can say that we are all one in that striving. We all wish for happiness. Nobody wants to suffer. We could say that most people share that. Most beings share that. It is more accurate. So wisdom is a state in which all concepts, all ideologies, all beliefs, all opinions have no footing. They can't be sustained in it. You're not identifying with those opinions and thoughts and beliefs anymore. You're not making fixed standpoints anymore. It is like this, it is like that. There's no attachment to any thought motions at all. There's no attachment to defining the world, identifying the world in any particular way. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it in any way stable? No, it is empty. It's just our mind is very habituated to fill it with stuff. And that's the highest form of happiness. You let go completely of all that you think you are. That is body and mind, in short. And the more we let go of, the more happiness there is. On the first stages, let go of negative thinking. It's in the way of your happiness. Instead, cultivate positive thinking. See that you are able to walk the path. Many people doubt themselves. I doubted myself for such a long time. Being in my own way. I wonder if I can ever reach enlightenment, if I can ever, all this kind of stuff. It is not helping at all if you're doubting yourself. Let go of that doubt. Instead, recognize clearly, yes, I can. That's a very positive thought, a very helpful thought. Because I have the ability to make decisions right now. I can do it. I can make myself happy right now. I can. Why would I not? First level. Second level, let go of distraction. Experience even higher levels of bliss. The third level, let go of everything. Experience the highest level of bliss. The entire path could be summarized in just let go. Let go. But it doesn't make sense to many. Oh, the whole path is just let go, just let go. Many people pick it up and then they think about it. And of course it comes out as like some sort of thought salad that doesn't make any sense in the end, because we're tending to confuse the heck of ourselves. We confuse ourselves all the time by thinking about things that we cannot solve by thinking. This is nothing to be solved by thinking. If you can only solve that by actually jumping in and letting go. And so what is your skill right now? What could you let go of that's in the way of your happiness, of greater happiness? What could you let go of that keeps you from being a bit happier? Is it thinking? Well, then drop it right now. Stay just with sound. Stay just with feeling. Let it have an impact. Allow yourself to relax into it. It's fine. I don't have to figure anything out. Relax. It's a bit nicer. If you're totally caught up in negative thinking, well, can you let go of negative thinking and instead maybe cultivate some positive thoughts? Change your perception. How could you change the perception of something that is bad currently in your life, something that you don't like in your life or about yourself? You can change your perception, how you see it. One of my favorite ways of changing perception about things that are miserable, things that I don't like, is I'm going to use that one to grow. And once I have grown out of this suffering, I can show others the way out. So to me, there are many sufferings that happen every day. Many different things. Things go wrong, right? For all of us. And you can use them. It gives me even a little bit happiness. Even if let's say, if there's a panic attack. I had a panic attack a long time ago. And even turning around, like, I could use this to help all people who have panic attacks. How do I get out of this one? Does deep breathing work? How would it work? How can I make it work? And now I'm totally fine with panic attack. I can even tell my mind, come on, give me a panic attack. I want to figure out how to get out of it. Or give me some problems. I want to figure out how to get out of this. Because each problem that you get out of is inspiring to other people. It helps other people with their life. So compassion might be your motive of dealing with your suffering. Not only for myself to get out of it, but for everybody around me. Everybody who struggles. Maybe you're in a situation where you have no money or no job. Maybe you're depressed, anxious, you can't sleep, you have insomnia. Wouldn't it be really cool if you could find a way out? And wouldn't it be awesome? Imagine it. Imagine it. Here we go back to the very first level. Imagine yourself helping other people breaking out of this hole. Wouldn't that be awesome? Now, doesn't that give you the feeling of, yeah, I want this? Now that's the first step before you make a decision to get this. And once you made the decision, you're already on the path. You're already on the way out. So, from the very basic level of adjusting your character, mindset, behavior, so that it becomes more serving to you and others, all the way up to completely letting go of everything, of all ideas of self, of me, of mine, etc., all the way up to enlightenment. It is a gradual path. And we all need to know what skill to build at what time. That's the challenge. That's what you need to figure out for yourself. What do I need right now? Do I need some positive thinking? Do I need to give myself a pep talk? Or do I need to let go of thoughts? And what can you do? Where's your ability right now? It fluctuates, it changes. So you've got to be really watchful. And cultivate that watchfulness throughout the day. It's great fun. There's so many ways of cultivating happiness and letting go of stress. It's not just one little thing that you need to do over and over. It's many different skills. Alright, so that's all that comes to mind for today. I hope that was helpful.